Hello Mindy fam, for the ones who don't know me, I'm Ornella Gigante, I'm the CEO and founder of Mindycore, an IT company made with love, and we are right now in Mindy Kids with the amazing Laura. Second episode! So excited! I actually, well, you will see that we have actually the same clothes and everything. Why? Because we are going to do, as we said before, slots of episodes, okay? So
shut up, maybe they didn't notice.
I'm sure they didn't. I'm so conscious, yay! So, what is this episode going to be about? Actually, this is going to start with a very, very simple question that at some point we were just talking before making the recording, but why actually kids are so drawn to games? Why, right? What is the pull? At first, we can say that it's because it's fun, but what do you think, Laura?
Yeah, it's mainly the simple answer is because it's fun. Not all the games are fun for all the kids. Some kids may like building games, some other kids may like fighting games. This is also not every kid is into every game, but it mainly gives them joy. It gives them this sensation that they are really engaged in something. But gaming also meets some needs. They meet their need for autonomy, and they meet a very strong need for competence. They progress and they feel that they are getting better and better and better at something that they couldn't do just some minutes before. And I think we adults should respect their needs and cooperate with them so the conflict around it gets smaller. And it's true that many games can build real skills such as problem solving and persistence, planning, creativity, even emotional recovery. That's because you really face failure again and again and again. And you can translate all these gaming strengths into daily life. And best thing a parent or an educator can do is celebrate the wins of their kid as if they were their own, because this is something important. He's progressing, and it's something that it's very important as they build their own confidence.
This is something very interesting that you said that I actually love it because I empathize with that. The fact that we kids are creating soft skills. They are enforcing soft skills while they are playing. And I empathize because actually I'm very straightforward. I'm actually trying all the times to do things and I don't stop until I achieve that. Some people will say that I have a talk, more talks than a door, but it's not that actually. It's true what you say about the games. Because I actually love, for example, puzzle games, horror games. Actually, I'm a fan of Silent Hill, for example, the kind of games that, they don't exist anymore. They make people think, they make people try and try and try until they get it. You can be only for one side quest, maybe a week. If you don't look at any kind of guide, we know how it is. There are a lot of cheaters. Don't look at the guides, okay? It's like the fun part of the game is pass the game yourself, okay? So... But it's true what you say regarding the soft skills, to have resilience, to keep trying with the games. It's like, and actually, maybe we can leave that for another episode, but I know that that games are actually not as difficult as they used to be before. It's like games right now are easier and easier and easier because they try to adapt to people right now. But what do you think about
some of them? There's a lot of progress in what is user experience.
Yes,
that's for sure. But no, there are many games that are really difficult. It's just that it's true that it progressed a lot from the beginning of gaming to today. So the games we were raised with they are not the same games.
But the games, for example, like Silent Hill, games like Resident Evil, games that I can tell you that the walkthrough is very complicated. They have a lot of puzzles. You have to think to go to another stage of the game, or the final bosses are actually more difficult. I got a feeling, and tell me if I'm wrong, that I don't know, game companies are not putting a lot of effort in give challenges to the players. They're making the games easy to the players so they can buy the games and not get frustrated. I think that we are actually have a gap here, but I don't know if I.
There is always a mode in which it's easier to get to the end of the game. That's true.
Yeah.
But there's still a hard mode.
I don't know if I just leave the comment. I don't know. Maybe I changed actually the whole episode.
For ourselves.
I want more complicated games. Give me more complicated games. This is my disclaimer. Give me more complicated. We can talk about that in another episode. But actually, I got a feeling that they are not too much strict as they used to be. And games are now easier.
It is true that we can make the link with what we were talking about, is that passive screen use is mostly consumption. Like you can watch film, you can watch some series, and gaming is active, and it involves decisions and learning and sometimes teamwork. And it's true that the kid feels more engaged, but it's actually easier to develop skills. For the age range that I'm talking about, when we talk about kids or a little bit young gamers, we are setting that more or less like from 7 or around to 12. From 12 onwards, a lot of gaming is going to be also about social connection and sometimes even about status and some of the stuff. This is different. But and they have some other problems. But the main problem for the kids that we're talking about right now is that they feel they really love something. They really love engaging in that. And this thing is despised, and this thing is like, and the kid is feeling bad. The kid is thinking, like, why do I love something that's wrong, something that's not good? Because many adults react like this when a child says, I play video games, I love video games. And then it may happen that for a while they discover a new video game and they talk about it like all day long. And I want to say to every parent, this is not a problem. Like, remember when your kid was passionate about dinosaurs and he was talking about dinosaurs for a month straight, and you didn't think that was a problem. It's just, he just discovered the game, and if you don't treat him nicely, so he stopped talking about this video game because it gets on your nerves, the kid is going to feel very bad. And you're going to break this connection that you need to have a healthy relationship with your kid. And this does not mean, like, it's not a problem. And you may be walking on a forest with your kid and the kid is talking about the video game. It's not a problem. You can still talk about it. It's not, so many kids receive so nasty messages, like you are obsessed or you are, I don't know, like they treat kids like as if they were addicts just because they are talking about video game. And that fills them with insecurity. That makes them feel very bad. So I again make this little demand to educators and to parents to not label their kid in that way, and to please look at what the kid needs, because he just wants connection, and he's getting very good at something, and he wants to share that with you. And that is really very good for both of you. That is really very good for your connection. And you're still walking on the forest because your kid needs to have some movement, and maybe you decided, okay, it's a good moment to connect with nature. That's perfect. It's not, he does not need, it's not, sometimes we think as parents, oh, my kid in this moment, he should be looking at the tree. And it is wrong that he's thinking about the video game. Like, just breathe. This is not a problem.
It is not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually what you said is like, and it's true. This is not an exaggeration. Some people maybe will watch this and, oh, what are they talking about? No, this is real. Mm-hmm. This is real. Actually, there are people that are looking at gamers and kids as the same as, oh, he's taking drugs. It's not a drug. It's like the conception of the gaming is like, you have a child that likes to have a PlayStation. The first thing that some people think is like, is isolate in his or her or whatever room. Doesn't get out from the room, is all the time playing in the dark, alone. I don't know. It's like the stereotype is very big. It's like...
But the problem is that this is your job. Your job is to ensure that your kid does not have an unbalanced life. And first of all, why on earth a young kid would have a gaming system in his room?
This is interesting, but it's very common. A lot of people just don't want that in their living rooms. What do you think about it?
You don't park your kid in front of a gaming system. This is a moment to share. This is something that we are going to do together. This is part of, we put the gaming system. What are you going to do? Are you going to be in the room the whole time? You have to be with him. You have to sometimes sit with him. It would be such a great idea that you grab a controller and you ask your child, can you teach me how to do that? And create moments of connection.
That is actually very nice, because it's true that a lot of parents just find to have the consoles on the living room annoying. It's like there is always that is something that I see with my niece and in another familiar spaces. There is like a competition for the screen, right? It's like, I want to watch the TV, I want to play games, go to your room. It's like in a very not explicit way, it's like they are isolating the kid to do this kind of activity alone, and making this kid think that what he's doing is bad. Because of this isolation of, I don't want to have this console in the living room because I want to watch the TV, I don't like the noise. It's like a lot of negative perceptions regarding the console, right? It's like, the noise is annoying, what are you playing all the time? You don't even know about the game, but you're just saying, what are you playing, Dad?
You have to know about the game. It's your responsibility to know about the game. But just change it. Change it a little bit, and we've all been through this also. What about the same situation? You are responsible that your kid has a healthy food, okay? A healthy diet and everything. How many parents blame their kid because they feel on a bag of chips and they don't want to have lunch? Like, who provided this bag of chips?
Not the kid.
The kid wasn't there to buy the bag of chips. You had it in the cupboard, the kid grabbed it, and he was eating in front of you. And you didn't put a stop to that, and now you're blaming the kid because the kid does not want to eat broccoli. So the thing is that so many times, and I've seen this, so many times some adults use the gaming system as a babysitter, or a gaming system as an emotion regulator, and that's very dangerous, because a gaming system is not it's an activity, but it's not an emotion regulator.
It's a tool.
And then they get pissed that this thing is, because they are not meeting their child needs. So when we do that and we create this and the things go out of hand and we get defensive and we don't fix the thing. It's not a problem. We decided, okay, this was not a good idea. It was not a good idea to put, we can go back. We explain to the kids can sit with you and understand, okay, now we're going to change it. You're not going to be in your room anymore. And if someone is watching this and says, oh my God, I put the gaming system in my child's room, and now I think it was not such a good idea. I don't know what he's doing. Go back to the safe zone. Put the gaming system in a common place where you can share this time with him.
I don't make the child embarrassed. Some of them just feel embarrassed to play in front of their parents, and it shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't be like that, and we can unblock this in such an easy way. Again, grab a controller with him, even if it's very difficult. Sometimes we feel ashamed because they master it in such an easy way. And we feel so embarrassed, like we're looking at the controller instead of looking at the screen.
The skills are too high.
Yeah, why are there so many buttons in this thing?
So true.
It's not a problem. You can have fun, and maybe the kid is going to have a laugh a little bit. It's not a problem, but you can ask them, like, why did you choose that for yourself when they are farming stuff? Or, oh, what did you practice and improve? And you break this all this shaming if you give them that. If you're asking them, you've been telling them to shut up for such a long time. How happy a kid is going to be if you ask them, okay, what did you plan, or what did you learn, or how come you're so far on the game right now?
So this is interesting. Maybe we can explain this a little more to the audience. Exactly, because you know that parents, not all of them, obviously you don't, but some of them just look at the child playing and say you're wasting time, right? So what we were talking about the soft skills, we were talking about the enforcement of these soft skills on the kid when he's playing. What exactly do they learn while playing games that is not a waste of time? These soft skills.
Well, a game is never a waste of time. Never. You always learn. But it is true that the speed of video games today and the amount of decisions you're going to have to take in most of the games, it's very fast. There are many options, so problem solving is a very strong skill, and persistence. And because of there are many times kids are not good at reading instructions. So you have this idea that like something appears in the screen, they're not going to read it, and maybe they are instructions to do something. So the kid is just going to find out.
They want to explore. That's actually great, to explore, right? It's like to have curiosity, to learn by experiences.
They are going. It's very good sometimes for kids who have spatial problems. We were talking before about neurodivergent kids, that they have a difficulty to figure out space. There are many games that can help with this. They need memory, because sometimes there are games that are very complex, and you have to have and they memorize it. Unbelievable concepts, and very strange name of 1,000 weapons, and amazing things that they can. Not every game is going to train every skill, but many games are going to train something.
It's true.
And in some of the games, children can even play in a cooperative way. If you have siblings and you have this couch cooperation option in some games, it's very good, because it can also help siblings that are sometimes in conflict, and they are going to need each other. They are going to ask for help. You have to help me. You have to save me. Someone is, and they are going
community. They are building community. Yeah. There are social skills. It's not that the kid is isolated. That's the reason that you have to be present. The kid is always with a lot of stimuli with people, and actually gaming is a social thing. Even if you don't see the people there, the socialization that we are having in these times, in 2026, is abstract, but it's there. Social stimulation is there. So there are a lot of skills that actually the kid is learning through games. And it's true that I said before that it's like they should make the games a little more complicated, but the stimulus is still there. I'm still thinking that they could make the games a little more complicated. Yeah, but that's a personal thing.
We have a little bit of nostalgia from the moment.
And we're talking about frustration right here, Laura. So what do you think about it? How kids can manage frustration through games? I think that they are learning actually to be composed, right? In these kind of situations, I can reach this level. I can find a way to reach this level and go to the big boss. How do they manage that?
Well, inside of the game, it can be really frustrating, and it can happen that the kid throws a controller on the other side of the room. This may happen, but normally we talk about how many lives, or we talk about death in video games or whatever, but that does not really exist. You can always give it another try. And hi there.
Sorry, it's just I'm going to show him because it looks so weird that I'm petting the areas here.
So I absolutely lost track of what I was saying. Frustration, yes.
Yeah, we were talking about the frustration and how difficult some levels are.
Some levels are still very difficult, and when you start gaming, and now controllers are very complex, it's not the same thing like we were talking about when we were off screen about this joystick, about the arcade machines with a couple of buttons and a joystick. Controllers are very, very difficult to handle today. So they have a lot of frustration, and they die, and they respawn, and they have to try again. And the only way of keeping going is to improve yourself, be more competent, be more autonomous, and find another way to do it. Real frustration happens sometimes when we switch off the gaming system because it's time to go to dinner or to go to sleep, and this is something that we will dedicate a whole episode about. Yes. Emotions. But again, it's the same thing. Connection is safety. I will never stop saying that. You can be with him, and you can recognize that it's normal. There's something very cool that was happening, and then it stopped. And now we have to go to daily life, and you can just be with your kid through that.
Yeah.
And again, so many parents react like, oh my God, if you react like this, we're not going to game again. In order to and he's going to block. He's going to say, oh my God, I have to behave nicely, otherwise I'm going to lose.
The playtime.
So, yeah, they are going to be very scared, and you are going to think that they are behaving better right now. No, you scared him. It's the only thing that happens.
These kind of things never work. It's like, I'm going to take off something that actually brings you joy.
Yeah.
There is never a good ending for these kind of things. You can actually teach your kids some things, some manners or whatsoever in a healthier way. I'm not a mother myself, so but I know, Laura, that you think the same. So you're actually my moral filter right now. So tell me if I'm right. It's like taking the kids this opportunity to be themselves through playing as something bad. It's like, you did something bad, I'm going to take this away from you. At some point, it's cruelty.
Yeah, it's cruelty. I think the thing is that it's so easy. We use it, and we make a big mistake because we give it so much power. Like, if we always threaten our kids with video games, we're just making this become the center of everything. That's what we want to avoid. But we use it because it's easy, because the kid is scared, because you're taking something that he really likes. So we're so many times we have to recognize, okay, let's stop being part of the problem, and I'm going to just forget the idea of blackmailing my kids with video games.
What kind of things should the parents watch while their kids are playing? What things should they look for?
What do you mean?
Because parents is like, okay, my kid is playing, for example, in the living room. I'm watching, but should there, I don't know, what should they look for when they have to make a conception about the gaming, or what should they look for on the kids' playthrough to feel if the kid is safe, or what kind of interaction should the parent do?
We should obviously keep them safe, and this means that for me, a kid before he's a teenager, he shouldn't have any chats opened or nothing like this. Yeah, I don't think a kid, because you cannot control the what's going to happen there. Because there's other users. So interaction with users, anything related to buying things. I think everything it's the parent, the adult who should take control of it. But it's not that difficult. Again, we are moving from anxiety to being calm. So while your kid is gaming, you just do nothing. You just watch it and you learn. And you ask your kid what are you proud of today, and you ask him to. So you make it a real relationship thing. It's not everything is we're not trying to achieve something. Just stay connected with your kid. Just I don't know. Just be there. Is as easy as this, and have fun and it's very, very simple. Actually,
I really like the achievement thing. It's like to ask your child, what did you achieve today, right? To look for real interest, because that achievement, parents, the achievement that the kid can have in a game is an achievement that is going to be a soft skill that can use in the future in real situations, in life, in studies, in relationships. Games can teach you the right game. Obviously, there are bad games and there are good games, because actually it's like everything. People create these things. That's the reason that the parent is the main protagonist and has to be there when the kid is purchasing something. That's the reason that there are limitations per age. That's something that actually we are going to talk in another episode, because it's very interesting. Laura already told me a couple of very interesting things that I didn't know. I learned a lot with Laura. So that for later. But again, achievements in games are achievements in life. So yes,
and that is a wonderful transition joker when it's difficult for your kid to just, he's very engaged in a game that we normally don't cut in the middle, but so it may happen. I don't know. We have a pediatrician and we have to leave, and I didn't realize, and I have to cut you mid game. That is terrible thing to do, but it may happen. Life is not perfect. We are not perfect. Sometimes it may happen. We have to go. I'm going to have to cut it now. And so, yeah, tell me about it. Tell me what made you proud. Tell me the progress you did. And you just keep this idea of progress and of I embrace what you love also. It can be a very, very helpful way to regulate this moment.
I love it. So as a summary of this episode, what can you say that a parent can do in this situation to find their child playing video games in the living room, for example? What could be the asking for achievements? Instead of say something negative, just go for something positive. Like it's like, what are you doing? Wow, so interesting. What did you achieve today?
Yeah, being proud and celebrate I think celebrating victory. There are moments that I treasure that were hugs that I gave my kids when they won a game.
I love it.
And they were, it's like, it's like winning the Champions League. Like, It's very good. They're very good moments.
This is the kind of things that the kid is going to have forever in their minds. So we have to cherish that. We have to embrace what the kid embraces as long as he's healthy. Games are healthy. We are the ones that make games an enemy, and there is no need.
It's to us to make it a safe space and a space of connection and relationship. And as we said today in this episode, games can also build skills and meet needs, and kids can also melt down when it's time to stop. And we are going to talk all of this. We made a little bit of a couple of things.
Yeah.
But in the next episode, we're going to talk about emotions and why a console cannot be a coping tool for emotions. So we are going to talk a lot about emotions, but also if a kid is feeling an emotion, why we don't just stop the emotion by putting a video game on the screen.
So interesting.
Yeah.
We actually don't have a script for this. We want to do this as organic as possible, so I cannot wait for the next episode. So, Laura, thank you so much for being here. Mindy Kids will be nothing without you. We are very happy, very honored to have you here. You're bringing a lot of value, and can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, it's great. I should change my t-shirt then.
I was thinking the same. Let's change the t-shirt. You're going to see the next episode, and you will know that this is the same day and everything, but hey, that's okay. It's part of the aesthetic. I love it. Laura, so see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.